Mic check 1 2 1 2. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings, and welcome to another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger (DSTM). This is episode number 150. 150. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh Shai. I want to appreciate everybody for supporting the channel and supporting the works of messengers of the covenant. I am your host, Amath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. All right. Um, do me a favor. You know what time it is? All of the regulars, you know, that have known and have respected the house here at DSTM, you already know what to do, man. Wipe your feet before you come on in. You wipe those feet by hitting the like button. The algorithms have to be triggered so that we can get this word out there. But nonetheless, for new viewers, if you find the content intriguing, expanding your understanding, helping you with your edification of the scriptures and just overall current event prophecies and whatnot, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I'm going live or when we have content that's going to be streaming forth. Um, Enjoying the day today. It is Sabbath day for us that are keeping the memorial blowing the trumpets and the new moon beginning last evening into today. Those that are keeping it in the same time frame as us, all praise, honor, and glory. Prayerfully, you guys are enjoying your day. And if not, I know some, camps kept it Saturday. Some are doing it this evening, I believe. Either way, you know, all praises that Israel is attempting to do righteous works and rehearsing the righteous acts. Nonetheless, we got business to tend to here. A lot of things we're going to try to cover today. I'm going to try to be concise as possible. I know I always say that, but I always let the Spirit of the Lord go forth. And however it ends up is how it ends up. You dig what I'm saying? But other than that, man, prayerfully everybody's solid and well. Let's go ahead and get started. We got a few things that we got to look at today. Florida has declared a state of emergency. Hurricane Ian is on its way, getting ready to smash the Tampa Bay area. If any of my people out there in Tampa, man, take cover. If you haven't already fled out, they're telling everybody to get out now. They're telling everybody in Tampa in the Florida area, where I think that's the southern tip of Florida. They're telling them get out. Over 300,000 people they're trying to encourage to get up out of there. Panic buying has been going on. Stores are getting ramshacked for supplies as people are trying to prepare. Um, Global gloom and doom again is being spoken of in the financial markets. I'm no economist. I'm no expert. And somebody may say, "Well, why do you speak on it?" Because it's relative news. Because it's relevant to the overall well-being of my people, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, known as the Israelites, according to the Holy Bible. So, if we're talking about global collapse of the economy, stock markets are continuing to crash in record numbers. The British pound is going down the toilet faster than ever. The Canadian, I forgot what they call that currency. That's crashing. Everything is going downhill right now at breakneck speed. Um, the U.S. is still continuing to threaten Russia in regards to if they use nukes, catastrophic consequences are going to happen. So a lot of saber rattling is still happening on the World War III front. Um, Another story I got about Beijing, man, they getting ready to implement bracelets for bus drivers to monitor their emotional temperament. Oh yeah, biometrics is in effect. Is in effect. Oh, and the Pfizer boss, we're gonna have to send him some prayers for him. Even though he's quadruply treated with his own meds, he's tested positive for that thing twice in a month. Imagine that. Imagine that. Without further ado, let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. You got to watch to the end, y'all. Don't come in and watch for 5 10 minutes and then say, I'll come back later. And never do. Watch to the end, and you're gonna hear and see all of the information that I'm bringing out today. All right. So let's start off here first, man. The hurricane. Hurricane Ian, as they're calling it. That's always a slap in the face to the Most High. I love going to the scripture, Wisdom of Solomon 13. Wisdom of Solomon 13. It's Ian now. The last one in Puerto Rico was Fiona. It's never the Most High. It's never Yahweh. You know, that's the arrogancy of the so-called white man. He takes the disasters and the judgments of the Most High and then capitalizes on them and slaps his names on them and says, "Oh no, we're declaring what this is. We're going to say what this." No, you're not. This is why the Most High is judging and smashing this place all the time because of the arrogancy of our oppressors. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1, it says, surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High. See, remaining dumb, remaining blind, remaining uneducated in regards to our power, Yahweh. He says, who are ignorant of the Most High and could not out of the good things that are seen known him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. So the good things that they see of the Most High, the pleasant lands and the beaches and all the things that they see that comes from creation, be it from animals, insects, the glory of biology, all of them things, they don't never want to give credit to the Most High about that. They want to talk about evolution. They want to talk about man science and transhumanism and everything else, but don't want to give the Most High credit. It says neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. So when you're even looking at what's going on with these particular hurricanes and these storms of destruction, they're saying it's Fiona and Ian, but not the true workmaster, the creator. Verse 2, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. So they, enact other powers, Mother Nature. You dig what I'm saying? Hurricane Katrina or Hurricane Maria. They entitle these storms swift air, as the scriptures you got through saying, wind, violent waters. See, all those are the gods that govern the world. Just like in Greek culture and mythology and Roman culture mythology and Egyptian, all these other heathenistic gods and customs where they have to deem gods over everything that, is circling around their mythos, where we're monotheistic. We're saying, no, it's one power that controls all, one power that designates and has authority over all other powers. Do you understand? That's the Most High. He said, neither in Deuteronomy 32:29, he says, neither is there any God with me. He said, I do all of these things. When the Most High commands anything to be done, he sends forth these angels, he sends forth these powers and these quote unquote gods to handle their business. We've covered that on a number of occasions in Sirach 39 about the spirits that are created for vengeance: fire, hail, death, famine, sword, teeth of wild beasts. These are all authoritative powers that the Most High has governing over the earth. And when it's time for them to execute, they do so. But the white man says, no, 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 no. We're not buying into that. We need to take credit for some of this stuff. As he's trying to be a creator, utilizing geoengineering technology, HARP technology that we've talked about before, weather manipulation and control. He wants it all, man. He's got a God complex. Let's read verse 3 and then we'll move on. That's what we'll read down to 5. It says, with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is. See, the Lord, the Most High, he is God over these lowercase g gods that they're out here, want to declare. That's one of the problems with, our Native American brothers and sisters, always trying to deify nature, animals, all kind of other things. They want to create them as gods. And next thing you know, the Most High gets taken out the picture. Reading on, it says, "For the first author of beauty hath created them." That's the Most High, is the one that created everything that we see: the sun, the moon, the stars, um, land, grass, animal, cattle, man, you name it. He created it all. But verse 4, "But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand them how much mightier he is that made them." So if we're looking at, you know, the Florida governor declaring a state of emergency regarding Hurricane Ian getting ready to come, they should be acknowledging how much more powerful the Most High is that created them. You worried about 140-mile-an-hour winds. You should be worried about the person or the spirit and the power that blew that breath. Do you understand? Let me give one more scripture. One more scripture. Psalms 83. Let's read 12 down to 15. It says, "Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God and possession? Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire." Verse 15, "So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm." Do you see how the prayers of our forefathers knew what to call upon when they expected and needed and wanted the judgment of the Most High to befall our enemies? Calling on tempests and storms to make them afraid. Well, they damn sure are afraid right now as they're running for their lives. And this is speaking about our enemies beforehand. Let's read up. Psalm Asaph. "Keep not, O silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." So this is a prayer in regards to the enemies of Israel who've taken crafty counsel against us. They said they want to cut us off from being a nation. They want our name to be erased from memory and history. They've done all those things. All of these particular nations, the Edomites, Ishmaelites, Moab, right? All of them have conspired against us. And now the prayer is for the Most High to make them like a wheel and as a stubble before the wind. He's praying for them to get burnt up, man. Bottom line, as the fire burneth the wind and as the flame setteth the mountains, you want the eternal flames of the Most High to consume their flesh. The scriptures even talk about, man, in that day, eyeballs is going to be melting out of sockets. Unbelievable. And it says, "So persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storms." So what are they doing here? Look what our enemies are saying. Get out now. Run. The fear of the Lord now all of a sudden is in effect, huh? See, leave now, do not wait. 300,000 Floridians are ordered to evacuate before monster hurricane Ian slams into West Coast at 140 miles an hour as Tampa readies for its storm of the century. Yeah, they're saying that this is the biggest storm they've had in over 100 years. See how we're embarking on more historical destructions and judgments and evolutionary things that's happening in the world right now. Dates are being set up. You're hearing about famines, and I mean droughts being the worst that they've had in 1,000 years, and all those type of things. You start hearing stuff like that, man. You know that we're entering into biblical times. Let's read on. Tropical storm Ian has upgraded to a large and powerful Category 1 hurricane by the National Hurricane Center. Authorities in Cuba have suspended classes and will begin evacuations on Monday as Ian is set to hit a Category 3 strength or above. Officials in Florida have also declared a state of emergency over the strengthening storm, warning residents to stock up on radios and supplies. Isn't it a little late for that? This is why people are panic buying and running to the stores. I'm going to show you in a video embedded in this article. Just the lines of people inside the stores, shelves being emptied out. But if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. To quote Sugar Free and whoever he got that from. You understand? So now they're warning people you need to stock up on supplies and radios. It's days before it's getting ready to hit, hours before it's going to hit. Oh, you guys might want to go get some supplies. Stores have started to run out of water and other basic supplies as many stockpile ahead of the what is this? Why is this in the way? I don't know why this is in the way, but anyway, it says stores are started to run out of water and other basic supplies as many stockpile ahead of the. I'm sure it's probably gonna say ahead of the storm, including planks of plywood to board their windows up. So the people that aren't leaving, they're gonna board up their homes. Here it goes right here. It's on its way. See down here, this is Jamaica. Moving on. See. Florida, under state of emergencies, Hurricane Ian nears. You see the people, carloads of people trying to get up out of there. They're stocking up on sandbags. Victoria Colson, 31 of Tampa, loads sandbags into her truck along with other Tampa residents who waited over 2 hours at the Himes Avenue complex to fill their 10 free sandbags on Sunday in Tampa, Florida. There they go. You got the little kid volunteers loading up on sandbags. Home Depot. Everybody's in there getting their wood and their plywood, preparing for it. All hell to break loose. Oh, look at the water shelves. All gone. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to go do all of that because you had it at home already? You didn't have to shake the dice and go to this store. Oh, they're sold out. Damn it, I waited too long. Let me go to the next store. Oh, it's a 5-hour wait. And by the time you get inside, all the water's gone again. Or you might be able to get a couple little, last little bit of these little gallons of who knows what kind of water that is. That's why we talk about wisdom and knowledge being the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. And, brothers and sisters having bare necessities on hand to make sure that you aren't caught slipping in that day. And Floridians have ample time to prepare because they're being told ahead of time as they're tracking the storm when they expect it to hit. So you could be looking and they could say within the next 4 days, this thing should be coming through. Okay, so they got 4 days to start preparing. Or you should already know it's hurricane season every year. Some are worse than others, but you already got your stuff in preparation. Whether it was 2 months earlier, a year earlier, 6 months earlier, you already are ready. There's no thief in the night coming to get you. But let's see. Look at her. She's trying to stack up and get her water. There's some of the storm tracker. These are cats in Cuba. See. People in Havana, Cuba are queuing for bread to stock up on bare essentials while waiting for the Hurricane Ian to hit. So here they are waiting to get their bread rations so that they can eat during the storm coming. Look at the video. This is
Remember your first car? The smell of the interior.
And that's light right now. That's not even the heavy rains and winds yet. See that? I'm gonna just stop that one for time's sake. Somebody posted on Twitter, not a good day at the beach. Yeah, tell us something we don't know. Right? Here this brother is. He got to go buy all this plywood. Mr. Bird Picture was purchasing various plywood sheets to protect his business against the looming hurricane. So extra expenditures. He got to run out there and get prepared. Then he got to go out there and board up everything and pray that the Most High don't rip it up. It's more of the free sand. Let me see. There was one of them in here had
Maybe you want to lower your utility bills.
People
Maybe you want to future
in the stores.
Completely out.
Yeah, look at her. She's looking for water. Ain't nothing there.
Completely out.
Up, you waited too long, honey.
Completely out.
Look how much preparation they got to do. They got to cut down the trees ahead of time because they're fearful that tree could get blow over and hit their house. So that's going on. Where's the one with the with them in the store? I think this is it right here. Look at this. Look at the panic buying. Look at what happens when you wait. Now, I don't know where or what line they're waiting in because most of those carts are empty. So I don't know if that's a checkout line or they're waiting to get some other supplies of food or drink or something. I don't know what, but I'll be damned sitting in the line like that. But that's what happens. Very reminiscent of when the DVOC 91, was declared and people ran out. Look at this. Costco, no regular water, out of stock. So they're getting ready to go through it down there in Florida or areas of Florida very soon for those that haven't, prepared and got themselves in order, right? Let's look at this other video right here. It's the UN chief. You can see right there. UN food chief warns of hell on earth food lows. This is the head who's tracking and monitoring all food supplies and resources for the world. And he's came to the conclusion that hell on earth is about to hit because of the famine that's upon the land. Don't listen to me though. Listen to him.
Bye. We're facing a food pricing problem in 2022 that's creating havoc around the world. Well, if we don't get on top of this thing quickly, and I don't mean next year, I mean this year, you will have a food availability problem in 2023, and that's going to be hell on earth.
What did you say, Esau? Hold on.
In 2023, and you will have a food availability problem in 2023, and that's going to be hell on earth.
Now we know white men speak with forked tongue, but remember, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, because there's 7 bombing. He's going to speak fair because it affects him too. So he's saying if we don't get a grip on the food scarcity, the fertilizer, and everything else, he says it's going to be hell on earth come 2023. He said it's got to get under control this year. No, it's not. It's not going to get under control this year. You talking about 2 more months left of this so-called year? And all of a sudden the food scarcity issues and is going to be solved and it's going to be fine? No. It's going to be, it's still going to come. It's prophesied by the Most High, man. Let me let him finish and then I'm going to get a couple scriptures.
Get on top of this thing quickly, and I don't mean next year, I mean this year, you will have a food availability problem in 2023, and that's going to be hell on earth.
It's climate change.
We're looking at an $11 billion shortfall of food production inside Africa alone. Now, I could go to Central America, South America, same issues on droughts. India, devastated by heat and drought, and it could go on and on. The world produces enough food to feed everybody on the planet, over 7.7 billion people. 50% of that food is because of fertilizer. So if you don't have fertilizer, you can't have harvest the yields that you need. The fertilizers that we're talking about, number one, China's got a complete export ban on fertilizer. Number two, the number 2 producer of fertilizer in the world is Russia. And they are struggling to get the fertilizer out. I'm asking world leaders, I don't care how you feel about Russia, China, or anything, fertilizers have got to move to bring food security to the rest of the world. Otherwise, there's going to be chaos all over the world. The other factor is inflation and the value of the dollar. Because the value of the dollar is so strong now, it's offset any movement we've had in the poor countries with regards to food pricing. We were able to avert famine in the last couple of years as I went to the leaders of the world said, if you don't respond, you will have catastrophe on catastrophe, is particularly in the height of COVID. And the leaders did respond. We averted famine. But then Ukraine comes on, shutting down the breadbasket of the world that produces enough food to feed 400 million people.
So there you have it. Spoken
The gambler's young.
straight from the mouth of the so-called white man. You won't listen to your brother, but you'll listen to him though. So let him tell you. And I'm not talking to the faithful believers. It's for for the ones who are skeptics, the ones who's I don't know about that Bible. I don't know about you Israelites. You guys are all, out there. I heard you was a cult. All that other stuff. Well, let's let the Most High say it first of all. Esau is not saying some revelation. These are the things that the Most High said. Well, let's look at one of the judgments how the Most High moves. Let's read verse 14. In the spirit of blowing the trumpets, look at this. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. So there's going to be a time where there won't be direct destruction by way of sword, but famine and pestilence will be a judgment that comes in, right? He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So there's going to be death and hell going all over the place. He that's in the field, people are going to be fighting over crops and food and everything else, dying by the sword. Those that's dependent upon those resources coming in, they're not going to be coming in. And it said famine and pestilence are going to devour them. Disease, lack of food, those things are going to happen to the inner cities, right? That's how the Most High works. Let's jump over to go to Amos 3. Amos 3 is a good one too, since we're in the spirit of trumpets. Let's read verse 6 and 7. So it says in Amos 3, verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord had not done it? That's why I was saying earlier, the Most High wants full credit for everything. If somebody says evil happened, they'll never think that was the Most High. Oh, that was Satan. Or that was just some wicked person. That was a demon. It's all the Most High. And he utilizes every tool in the shed to produce his judgments. So a trumpet, that's a sound of alarm. That's a sound to assembly. That's a sound for a time when it's time for worship. It's time for the trumpet and the cadences that were used for us to march and mobilize. So in this particular instance, a trumpet being blown in regards to bringing fear upon the people in the city. That's how the Most High works. So here a trumpet is being blown down there in Tampa, Florida. You see people scrambling around now, don't you? Oh, they're panic buying at the stores. They go into Home Depot. They cutting down trees. They doing everything they can to try to survive because they know destruction is coming. Even when it's not foreseeable. How do we know that those things are going to happen? Well, look what the Most High said in verse 7. Surely the Most High Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servant, the prophets. So the prophets of the Lord, the men of the Most High, the men of Israel, who studying to show themselves approved, are going to be getting secret understandings of things that the Most High wants his people to know. The prophets are going to go out and declare to the people, just like with Noah. People was thinking Noah was tripping, talking about a massive flood is going to come through and destroy everyone. He's building the ark. They're talking about, no, are you tripping, man? You better get out here and marry and give into marriage and party and revel and wild out like the rest of us, man, and get this money. And Noah's like, man, destruction is coming, man. I'm listening to the voice of the Lord. We go out and prophesy and tell our people all the time, man, America's going to be judged and destroyed, man. Repent now before it's too late. The world is going to be judged. Nations are going to be judged. Imminent destruction is happening through war, famine, pestilence, death, earthquakes, storms and tempests, teeth of wild beasts. The Most High is unleashing all. You see all these spirits and demons on people, man, running around committing all these heinous acts and crimes. I just covered a story last weekend about body parts found in multiple suitcases in New York. Another cabman beheaded his ex-girlfriend in the streets, broad daylight in California. Flash mobs of kids splashing into stores, ramshacking. What's the name of that? There's a Wawa grocery store. They ran up in there. They're hitting 7-Elevens. They're going to the jewelry stores. They're robbing people in broad daylight. Don't care if you're pushing your baby in a stroller. Women are getting jacked. This is just the beginning of all of these particular things. But the Lord said, I will always reveal my servants, the prophets, my secrets to my servants, the prophets, so that they can tell and warn the people. That's what Ezekiel 3 told us to do. And Ezekiel 33 tells us to do. Isaiah 58:1, to give warning to the people. So once you start hearing about these things, okay, famine is coming. And for the majority of our people, man, they won't listen until the so-called white man says it. So there you have it. The UN food chief says hell on earth is coming by 2023 if they don't turn around this whole famine thing. And it ain't turning around in the next 2 months. So take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. One more, Ezekiel 4. I said one more. I'll probably get one more after this. Ezekiel 4, and let's read 16 and 17. It says, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with an astonishment. You know, this goes into like Revelation 6 and the third seal regarding famine happening. It says you're going to you're going to eat a measure of wheat and barley for a penny. And in those days, a penny was like a day's wages. We talked about this before. You do the math on your daily hourly rate that you get paid. If you get paid $20 an hour and you done worked 8 hours, that's what, 240 hours, 200 what I say? 20 hours. Shalakia, $20 an hour at $8. 8 hours. I'm all over the place. $20 an hour, 8 hours a day. That's $160 a day. Now, minus the taxes, everything else. Okay, let's drop it down to what? $95. Let's just say that. You get $95 a day for your labors. That will supply you with bread for the day. A measure of it. You understand? That's where this famine is going. Food scarcity and availability is going to be so bad that food will be there, but it will not be attainable because it's so expensive. That's where you get where the inflation is kicking in at, right? But here we see that the Most High said, and is going to happen in the day that the staff of bread, meaning the abundance and the solidness, and the because the staff is going to keep you balanced and keep you firm and hold you up. That's like your backbone. It's also a weapon of defense or whatnot. He said that's going to be broken. We're not going to have that stability anymore. They shall eat bread by weight. So now we're talking about rations, food rations, and drinking water by measure. You see how water is running out over there in Florida. Now you're going to have to measure out how much more water you're going to drink. They say a gallon a day is supposed to be the normal amount of water that a human needs. Well, if you only got so many gallons, you're not going to be drinking that much water a day. You're going to be rationing out. Oh, by measure. Oh, you're going to, you may only you got a household of 5 and got, 5 gallons to your name until hopefully you can get to another store, or after the storm subsides and maybe you can get out. Who knows how long that's going to take for you to get out and get any supplies. Let's just say that the devastation lasts a week or two. You can't get nothing. You only got 5 gallons of water and 5 heads to feed. You got to measure out that water for everybody to survive. Let alone, we ain't talking about washing, Let's say your sewer system goes down. What are you gonna do then? Ask the people. Look at the people in Mississippi, man. Study that and understand where I'm going with this. But the scripture says water's gonna get drunk by measure, bread's gonna be eaten by weight, and with astonishment, people gonna be shocked, like, damn, I ain't never had to eat this little bit. I didn't never had to measure out this much water to drink, man. I used to just be able to pour and flow, and I was expecting sparklets and whatever other Arrowhead to come deliver my 5-gallon bottles every month. Abundance was clear. Nobody was tripping. Now with astonishment, it's like, oh, this is something different. See verse 17, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. It's because of the iniquities, sin, evil, wickedness. And the Most High said that the sins of Babylon have reached to the heavens. So you can only imagine. You can only imagine why and where things are going to happen. Why is this important? Jeremiah 14. Let me read. And let's just read a couple of verses, 14, 15. Well, actually, it's free 13. Then said I, Lord, Yahweh, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you an assured peace in this place. So you're going to have some prophets and teachers out there and church heads and figureheads who ain't even talking about this stuff. Not preparing the people, not even giving them a hegemony. I mean, a hedge to to prepare themselves and get their minds mentally focused on when and if these things, or not even if, when these things actually happen. They're saying ain't nothing gonna happen, man. We got plenty of food, man. You can go right over there to the Checkers and the Rallies, and you can go get 2 burgers for $7. And hey, man, they selling 8 nuggets for $1 at Burger King, and man, we ain't no shortage of food, man. Taco Bell just made a new burrito. We eating good over here, man. You can still go buy a $5 cheese pizza from Little Caesars. What are you talking about? This is your place of peace, man. Long live Babylon. You're gonna have some that's just living like that, and they're gonna say, man, look, forget all that fear mongering, man. Don't listen to them Israelites. Verse 14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. Verse 15. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. Oh, it's not going to happen to the good old great America. Oh, it's not going to happen to the rest of the world. What? The majority of the world is already in famine. Third world countries are already experiencing death in the millions off of famine alone. Just because Pizza Hut got a new damn advertisement about some new pizza creation they done made doesn't mean that there's not a famine going on. Do you understand? You go to that grocery store, you're not getting the same amount of groceries that you used to get with your normal grocery budget, are you? No, you're not. Them gas prices going up too, huh? California, they're restricting water usage. You can't even use utilize your own gardens and all that anymore. Anybody that's out there still doing it, it's like at your own risk. You better not have no nosy neighbors who's willing to call the water police and environmental police on you to come over and slap a fine on you. Yeah, things is a lot different now. But the Lord said, what? I sent them not, yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. So you got false preachers and apostles and uh, whoever acting as if this is not existent, non-existent. It's not a part of their daily sermons or their Sunday sermons. It's not part of their particular doctrinal understandings of warnings for the people. They're acting as if this ain't even happening. But what's the Lord say? By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. They're going to be put to death by the very same things that they're ignoring, not talking about, or flat out saying is not going to happen. The Lord said they're going to reap what they sow, in other words. Do you understand? All right, so let's move on. You see here, global gloom. World markets plunged to start the week as global currency crash hits max pain and beyond. Again, I'm no economist, but when you see headlines like this, global doom and world markets plunging, just take a look. If you are involved in your stock markets and all that other stuff, for those of you keeping the Sabbath, do it when the sun goes down. Don't be worrying about your finances and your money and your business affairs on the Lord's day. Sun goes down. Go check your Weeble account. Go check your your Robin. What do you call it? Robin Hood accounts on your stocks. See how much red you see. Do you understand? You see this? Look at all of the futures, bond markets, and all that. Everything is sliding down. Everything is down, and they're talking about. Let me see. Hold on. Look what's happening over here. The pound plummets as UK Tory government and Labour fight over how to protect its profits. They're talking about how the British pound is taking a tumble. Their money is faltering. Uh, Look at this. Canadian dollar hits its weakest level since June of 2020. So the UK is getting hit economically. Canada's getting hit economically. China, all the countries in the world, man, everything is plummeting. Global markets is hitting all kind of lows. Jerome Powell and them keep having them keep raising the interest rates, the cost of living, and everything else. People are going to lose their jobs. This is all bad. So when you get in all these damn numbers, I don't know what all of this is meaning. But one language I do understand. One language I do understand. Crisis. You understand? Global gloom, world market. I understand plunging. I understand global currency crashing. I get all that. I don't need to know about the metrics and the algorithms and everything else and how they calculate this stuff. But if you could tell me the end results is stock markets and the economics of the world is crashing, I get that. I get that. Let's move on. Look at this. U.S. has a plan if Russia uses nukes. Blinken says. This is U.S. Secretary Blinken. He's already out here talking tough. More saber rattling regarding the upcoming World War III confrontation. And some may say, well, why are you saying? Well, listen, Putin already said that he's fighting forces in the West and NATO. That he said they're already at war over there. Now, Western media, of course, they're not. They're going to say, no, it's only the Ukrainians over there. There's no U.S. troops. Well, that's still a lie because you had U.S. volunteers leaving here, going to fight over there just on their own. So U.S. troops are over there, whether they're sanctioned by the U.S. Army or military or whatever, is irrelevant. But foreign troops, i.e., NATO affiliated troops, are fighting over there in the Ukraine right now, right? And they're just shelling out money. Let me see what I seen this earlier. Look at this madness. Oh, that was April. Hold on, because it was a. Yeah, see the Ukraine receives 1.5 billion in new financial aid. This is what they're getting monthly. 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 As Your gas prices is going up, food prices going up, and everybody else is out here struggling. People getting ready to lose their jobs, but they can show give Zelensky and them billions of dollars all the time. Let's stay focused. So U.S. Secretary Anthony Blinken, he's out here talking tough. Moscow will face horrific consequences if it uses weapons of mass destruction. The top diplomat warns. The administration of U.S. President Joe Slow Biden has a plan for reacting to the hypothetical use of nuclear arms by Russia, but will not reveal the details. Oh, top secret, huh? If Russia were to deploy atomic weapons on the battlefield, the consequences would be horrific. And we've made that very clear. Blinken said on an interview with the 60 Minutes program on CBS News on Sunday, he said the message has been communicated to the Russian leadership publicly and privately. I'm not going to get into the consequences, what the consequences would be. Any use of nuclear weapons would have catastrophic effects for the country, of course, the country using them, but for many others as well. So, you know, you see what he's saying. The U.S. is ready, or they're claiming to be ready to encounter nuclear war, but won't say what they're willing to do. Because they want to be looked at as the warmongering, death seeking destroyers that America is, right? But they're doing that. But anyway, let's move on. So just an update on where the war is at, and how much closer we are to the brink of um, World War III, where it's undeniable. Where it's undeniable. Let's read this. They're recruiting over there in Russia. People aren't liking it. People are trying to run up out of there. Military age men are saying, "No, we don't want to fight. We're running." Remember when Putin laid out that referendum and said, "Listen, 300,000 is coming up. Reserves, drafting, so forth and so on." He's getting troops up, but in the midst of one of these recruiting centers, it said one of the military recruiters got shot because these guys didn't want to go to war. But remember, the Most High said in Ezekiel 38 that he's going to put hooks in the jaws of Russia and drag them in to conflict. They're trying to run away. Most High is going to drag their butts back up in there. A young man shot at a military officer at a close range at an enlistment office Monday, an unusually bold attack reflecting resistance to Russian President Vladimir Putin's efforts to mobilize hundreds of thousands of more men to wage war on Ukraine. The shooting comes after scattered arson attacks on enlistment offices and protests in Russian cities against the military call-up that have resulted in at least 2,000 arrests. Russia seeking to bolster its military as its Ukraine offense has bogged down. Now, you know, say what you want. Who knows how credible all of this stuff is? The Western media has a particular slant that they always like to put on there. How many people are actually, not wanting to be recruited or rebelling and bucking up? Who knows? But in any event, Putin's not backing down. He's getting more troops ready, and he's ready. He's getting ready to go all, as they say, balls to the wall. You understand? But check this out, though. Here's another story. Beijing bus drivers to have their emotions tracked by government using AI bracelets. See, this is the next phase of uh, social credit scores, monitoring, and you know how they soften you up. I just seen a commercial, and I'm sure some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The new Apple Watch. It says it reads when you get into a car crash, it calls 911 immediately. It can read when a woman is menstruating. Oh, no, ovulating. For those, women trying to track their ovulation pattern so they can try to get pregnant, the watch will tell you when you're ovulating. What else did it have? Dang, I forgot. Let me see. Y'all think I'm BSing, man. Uh, It is. Stop guessing when you're ovulating. Apple Watch Series 8 may let you know. Possible cycle deviation. If your cycle history is accurate, it shows an unexpected pattern. They have created these things, and people utilize it for their Fitbits and locking it into your cardiac patterns. And in the commercial they was talking about uh, when they are you're swimming, it can tell when you're doing a backstroke or the breaststroke, and monitoring your steps per minute, and all kind of madness, man. Now this thing is locked into your biology to help track your fertility. But leave it over here in Moab saying that they're going to track your emotions. You mad today? You mad at your boss after you just had that meeting and the damn bracelet goes off? Boss calling you into the damn office later and said, "What was you mad about? You didn't like how our argument went? You're fired." Those type of things, man. The next level of biometrics, tracking, social credit scores, uh, behavioral rewards is all part of the plan, man. That's why I said the new Apple Watch is just a softening, just for people to get used to the technology and wanting people to buy into what sounds like a great idea. But always remember, there's back doors available for them to control. Beijing bus drivers to have their emotions tracked by government by using AI bracelets. Bus drivers in Beijing will now have their emotions, blood pressure, exercise, and sleep tracked by the government, who says it will make buses safer, but some have called it invasive. Oh, you think so? Transport authorities in Beijing have begun tracking the emotions and health of long distance bus drivers in an attempt to improve safety. It's always about being safe, or we're doing it for your own good. According to the Beijing Public Transport Consortium, drivers have been issued with electronic bracelets that can monitor everything from their blood pressure and sleep patterns to their feelings. Local newspaper Beijing Daily reports that the agency delivered 1,800 bracelets to drivers. It's not clear what brand the smart wristbands are, but reportedly measure biometrics in real time to detect anxiety, sickness, and overall fitness. And here it goes. Doesn't look like a little Apple Watch. What other type of bracelets do they do to monitor people's movements and tracking? Oh, when you're on house arrest. Oh, but it goes around your ankle. What's an ankle monitor, huh? Here they want to put it on your wrist. Isn't that much better? Isn't that more acceptable? I guess that should be, doesn't seem to be as invasive with the tech. But let's not be fooled. Okay. Let's look at this too. Let's look at this. Now, I'm gonna have to self-censor so that there's no attempts for flagging. But the FDA says that the treatment, the FDA treatment advisor, how about that? FDA treatment advisor warns healthy young people should not get the new enhancements that they're promoting. The same one that the World Health Organization chief said God gave you two arms, one to get the flu treatment and the other one to get the other medical treatment. Same one. He's saying FDA treatment advisor says, if you're healthy, you shouldn't be getting this. Well, wasn't they saying that at first when these things first came around? If you're young, healthy adults, this, that, and the third, you're not at risk. You should be fine. Your immune system is your immune system is good enough to fight it off. Then it turned into no, you're not. Then it turned into 15 to 12-year-olds. Then it dropped down to 5-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 6-month-olds. Shall just continually diminished until they got everybody they wanted. But here we see he says it's you shouldn't go get that thing. It says it's unfair to make them take a risk after data suggested that the treatment wasn't as effective as the first batch. No kidding. Paul Offit, a member of the FDA's uh, V for Vendetta advisory committee, said he's not fully sold on the benefits of a third poke outweighing the harm. A newly developed dose called the bivalent cocktail of the original strand combined with parts of the Omarion or the okra, BA.4 and BA.5 subvariant. I know this sounds like I'm just talking crazily in code, but you can read it for yourself as I have to kind of skip around some of these things. But look at it. The CDC has reported that the old thing has side effects like myocarditis. Oh, now they're not acknowledging that, huh? You know, what is that? An inflammation of the heart muscle and pericarditis and inflammation of the heart's outer lining. Really? And then what else did they say? So far, the only tests on the new treatments have been done on lab mice. So no human trials done on this new enhanced treatment going on. Hadn't been tested on humans, but they telling you to roll up and come on out to play. Hmm? And they're saying that the old thing is having side effects on people's hearts. And I think it's been pretty well documented how many the increase in heart attacks and athletes and all kind of people that have been dropping like flies after complying with protocols so they can continue on with their livelihoods. Let me read this last story. Ironically, quadruple treated Pfizer boss tests positive for the second time in a month. Draw your own conclusions, people. Sounds like the people who followed along with protocol, man, and got all them treatments done to them are the ones who's popping up with these positives and catching and spreading and doing all of that. You don't hear too much about those that didn't follow along with the game plan having any issues, do you? Not really, huh? So take it for what it's worth, man. Chickens coming home to roost is an understatement. Seeing this happen here is only the Most High laughing at Esau, man, and we should be doing the same. Pfizer CEO has tested positive for the thing for the second time since mid-August. He's had 4 treatments, but is yet to receive Pfizer's autumn bivalent enhancement. I wonder why. Oh, he doesn't want to get it either, huh? It comes after President Slow Biden said last week that the pandemic is over. But the Pfizer boss warned the opposite on Twitter. He said, no, it's still here. So who's right? You know, they always got to wheel real slow Joe back. They always got to pull him back because, you know, he always be talking out of turn. They telling him, hey, we didn't say it's over yet, man. We still got work to do with this thing. You know how much more we could still take advantage of? You know, he said it's over, but he hasn't taken off that emergency authorization. Ever think about that? It's over, but we're still under emergency. Imagine that. Imagine that, man. Hey, we covered enough today, man. Enough to meditate, enough to chew on, right? So all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. If you haven't done so already, man, make sure that you wipe your feet on your way out. Next week, October 4th, will be the Day of Atonement. High holy day, important day for our people to fast 24 hours, no food, no water. Should be given into supplication and prayer, repentance and atoning for the sins that you've committed, I've committed, the sins of our forefathers and foremothers, the reconciliation of our nation with our Father, the deliverance of our people. It's the time for atoning, right? So October 4th, that's next week, Tuesday, sundown, we'll begin to fast, and you're to keep it for 24 hours until the sun is down on the 5th. All right, so that's just a reminder. I'll remind everybody again later on this week, but I just wanted to make sure that that was put out there um, as well. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. While you have a side, always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't shoot your messenger.